going 2-2 again, but talk about that kind of road experience going into number 5 TCU, just the environment, and before we talk about the game.
Yeah, the game. So I think we just wrapped up our last 8 and have been on the road. So we got back last night. We'll jump on a bus again tomorrow to go down to UTSA. So at the end, I guess, of a 9-game road trip, it's been challenging. There's been some moments, but I think we're learning and growing through them. Last week, TCU, great environment. It always is. It's the first time, to my knowledge, that we played a top 5 team. And I thought we showed well. We gave up a couple home runs. Other than that, I thought we outplayed them for the most part. They slugged a little bit, which was the difference in the game. And I thought our pitching staff really held down a really good offense, which at the time was in the top 15, I think, in the country in a lot of categories. So, I think we've learned through that. We faced some really good arms last week that pinned us down a little bit offensively, but it was great to see them respond on Saturday and Sunday this week and won our first WAC conference series over at Tarleton.
And TCU, that game was much closer than the box score had.
Yeah.
How good does that feel as a coach to be able to see a lot of new guys going into a top 10 team and compete the way they did?
Yeah, no, I think we've got a talented roster. It's just there's youth. There's a lot of youth in it. So when you think back to the guys that threw, Caden McCarty's his first college start. He's basically a redshirt freshman. For all didn't have a lot of success, but didn't have a lot of experience last year. So for him to go in there and just hold them down, give up the one solo home run to one of their better hitters was, I thought, great. He set the tone in terms of just challenging them and attacking the strike zone, and was very, very efficient. I think he threw 28 pitches in 3 innings. So, we pulled him out to keep him, for the weekend. He had a save, I guess, yesterday afternoon in our 3rd game. So, but Parker Matthews threw well. I thought Brett Garcia threw extremely well as a grad student transfer. We had some other guys that sprinkled in there that I thought did a really good job too. So, whenever you hold TCU down to 4 at home, with some wind, there was some wind pushing out. So it was an offensive night, or could have been. But there was a lot of great things to take away. The young guys are getting good experience. We're pushing that 15-16 game right now where guys are starting to get a little more comfortable maybe in the roles. We're starting to figure out a little bit of where we can plug and play some guys for success. So I like where we are. We'd obviously like to be a little bit better from the win-loss perspective. I think we got our 10th win yesterday. But honestly, man, 3 or 4 pitches away from being 14 and whatever, in a really, really good place. So we knew there would be a little bit of growing pains probably early with this group, but I think they're competing really well. And hopefully this next 4 weekends before our bye, we can kind of get everything lined up, ready for the stretch run.
And going to that Tarleton series, winning it 2-1 on Saturday and Sunday. How good is it to see your team respond to that loss and be able to bounce back, especially when it comes to WAC play?
Yeah, Friday night wasn't good. I don't think we competed really well. First game on the road, just didn't attack on the mound well. It kind of set a bad tone. We still had a shot, there at the end of the game. But then I thought they responded, like I said, really well Saturday and Sunday. I thought our starting pitching was extremely well Saturday and Sunday, which gave our guys a chance, kept everybody in order. To throw a shutout on the road in conference play is not an easy thing to do as well. So I thought Ian and Brett did a really good job on Saturday. Let our offense kind of get back into where they needed to be, and we had a big inning there in the 5th or 6th to push us out in front. Then yesterday I thought it was another good game. I think it was 0-0 through 3, and we put together a really good inning and started stringing some real competitive bats. Found the barrel a little bit more often yesterday. So we'll need to do that again tomorrow at UTSA, but we'll start the week here or on the road at UTSA, and then we come back to UTA here this weekend. So we're excited to be back at home for sure.
And just getting to that long road stretch, ending at UTSA, finishing up in San Antonio. How good is it going to be able to be back in your own facilities, back at home, kind of get into that routine for a little bit of a home stretch? Yeah,
well, it'll be 3 games, and then we're back on the road 4 next week. So it's not too long. We're in a tough stretch, but I think we're 4-4 on this road trip right now. So tomorrow will be a nice win to add on top. Day by day, week by week, I think we're just trying to continue to get better. I know that's cliche, but that's just what our program's been about, is trying to develop young players in a lot of different ways. And it's exciting to see where we were, 4 weeks ago, and now where we are here. I just hope that we can continue to look to grow on the same trend and track over the next 4.
Coach, the hitting in the weekend against Tarleton, I mean, Maddox, Miller, and Gino, they were alive on Saturday and Sunday. What contributed to their success?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I think those guys have really been, a lot of them have been putting together some good at-bats, maybe not getting rewarded. I think there's been we've had a lot of traffic on base. If you go back to TCU, I think we left 9 guys on the first 6 innings last week. So it's not for lack of bad at-bats. I think sometimes at the Division I level, man, good arms are really good with 2 outs. The better arms are ahead, and then they get to 2 outs, man, they kill innings. I think that's what we want our guys to, and we've done a really good job of that on the mound. So the hitters, sometimes there's a little luck to it. I think we've just not had a lot of luck offensively when it's been those opportunities to drive in some runs. We did see a lot of that on Saturday and Sunday, though. So hopefully there's just some ebb and flow sometimes where guys are all trying to drive all 4 of them in, but 1 run matters. Just let's just get the 1 run inning sometimes. So again, that's youth, and you mentioned Maddox, who's a second-year player here. Miller's coming back. Sometimes those guys will put a little pressure on themselves to do some things that, they don't need to do. They just need to buy into the whole 1 through 9 deal and let our strength be our strength with our depth. So Miller had a backside home run yesterday, which was great to see. Gino had some doubles, a bases loaded clearing double yesterday that kind of, put us out in front in a 5-run inning. So I've said I like our lineup. I think there's some depth to it. We just got to continue to find barrels and put together quality at-bats and put pressure on the other team is what it's all about.
And then on the other side, your starting pitchers, Ian Campa and Brett Landman. I mean, not only just this weekend, but hitters have been struggling against them all year. I mean, why is that? What attributes to their performances?
Yeah, I think those 2 specifically are just different. I think Ian does a great job in terms of just mixing. He's got 3 different pitches that he can pound the strike zone, and he does a really good job of doing that efficiently for the most part. It has to this point. So we love having him on the mound. It's quick, it's efficient. Our defenders have an opportunity to play, gets a lot of ground balls. There's a lot of things to do when he's pitching. Brett's the opposite. Brett is, his stuff metrically is different than Ian's in terms of the way it plays. So when you go from Ian on Saturday to Brett on Sunday, they're just different. One's right-handed, one's left-handed, one's fastball does one thing, one's does the other. So that makes it hard on offenses when those guys are both ticking and right. So proud of those 2 guys, man. They've done a really good job of attacking the strike zone, and so has Austin Glaze. Our whole rotation has been rock solid for the most part this spring. So if they can continue to do that, knowing there's going to be a little ebb and flow to it, I like our bullpen pieces. Cade McGars came along, Brett, Dash Albus. I'm going to miss some names here, I think, as we push through. But there's been some guys that have thrown well that we've got some confidence in as we push through, and some young guys that are trending as well.
And then back on the hitting side, Miller's been hitting .389 through 16 games. That's 3rd in the WAC. I mean, what makes him so effective at the plate?
Yeah, Miller's strong. He's got some experience. He'll use the whole field. His best swing, yesterday he hit 1 backside. There's just not a whole lot of guys in our league that can drive the ball over the fence to the backside of the field. He's done that since he's been on campus here. So when he's right and using the whole field, man, it's a fun baseball player to watch. I think so. He's a catalyst for our offense. He hits right there in the 2-hole. It's been fun to see the maturation process with him over the course of his tenure here at ACU. So, no, he's a really good one. I'm glad he's on our side, and we'll need him down the stretch as we push through, try to surround him with as many opportunities as we can to score some runs.
And in spring break, when these kids don't have school, how are practices different? What's the approach like?
Yeah, we don't have to start at 4 o'clock. That's a good thing, So we'll be able to practice a little bit earlier in the afternoon. Sometimes our class schedules aren't the most conducive to early practice, but Monday's our day off normally. They'll get in the weight room more than likely, reset their bodies a little bit, get ready for another week. We'll jump on the bus tomorrow and head down to San Antonio. So it'll be a down and back in one day, which is an easy 4-hour trip down. Wednesday we'll regroup. We'll do some more small groups, probably have some live at-bats together. Thursday we'll practice here at home and not have to travel, which will be great. And then we'll have UTA here this weekend. So it goes quick, man. Each week you just kind of got it blocked out. Mondays they're reset. You get back, or when you're home. It's really the academic day to kind of get your week lined up. and then we'll be on the road tomorrow. So we'll see what the new week holds.
And speaking of San Antonio, they've already played some whack guys already, and one hitter's hitting above 400, another hitter's hitting above 500. What are the keys for attacking that?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of guys that throw tomorrow. Same keys as always, man. Try to create some count leverage early, attack the strikes. You get good hitters out by attacking them. You can't be passive and trying to pitch and nibble sometimes. So we'll dive in more then this afternoon after lunch today. We'll get a little bit better idea on where we need to go and then how our bullpen will line up tomorrow. But there'll be a really good challenge for us. Pat does a great job. It'll be a tough team. They're a seasoned team. They're traditionally a winning team, so there's just going to be some belief and some culture down there that you're going to have to go beat them. They're not going to they're not just going to let us come down and play a decent baseball game and walk away with the win. We're going to have to go play really well down there, and I hope we can start the week off 1-0.